Don Nelson is on your side to explain. Don, like thousands of parents here in the Valley, you have a son who's playing football, and I can see why you would want to have this done.
Yeah, you know, when I first heard about the baseline testing, I was curious. Yeah. Why wouldn't any parent get their son or daughter tested? Here's what I found out.
Football, a sport where you hit and get hit. We are all aware of the dangers, and it's not just football. It can happen in any competitive sport. So as concerned parents, what are we doing about it? I took my son, Sam, who plays football at Sawtooth Middle School, to Dr. Kurt Nielsen, who's passionate when it comes to kids and concussions.
I would love to see every kid having some sort of baseline test done so we know where they're starting when they're playing a collision sport.
Nielsen is a sports medicine specialist who truly believes baseline testing works and prevents future problems with
school, depression, problems with work.
So a preseason exam would seem to make sense. It's quite simple but very effective. You start by assessing the athlete's brain function.
You click the box that indicates basically how badly you're experiencing any individual symptom.
Questions dealing with dizziness, fatigue, trouble sleeping, numbness, or tingling, just to name a few. Then you assess their balance.
So what we're looking for is sway. So does he flex at the hip? Does he lift up his foot? Does he do anything that sways? He looks pretty rock solid.
Matt Kaiserman was rock solid coming out of high school and onto the blue at Bronco Stadium. An ankle injury slowed Matt's career, but it was the hits to the head that stopped him in his tracks.
Took a handoff up the middle. It was just a slight tap right on the top of my helmet. Really wasn't anything big at all, but immediately after that play, I could just tell I was kind of off.
With his playing days behind him, Matt became an advocate for concussion education and safety. As a matter of fact, Matt was instrumental in lobbying Idaho lawmakers to pass a law mandating education to parents and athletes. Matt knows there's still plenty of work to be done.
I think the biggest issue we're facing right now is on the athlete side, not wanting to come out of the game.
And that's where the coaches come in.
Having the coach be responsible for winning the game and having the coach being responsible for determining what's in the best interest of that athlete. Because sometimes those are two different things.
We're all becoming more aware because of education and news reports like the recent multi-million-dollar settlement between the NFL and its former players. And if anybody thinks people like Dr. Nielsen and Matt Kaiserman are off base...
Repetitive traumatic brain injury has long-term implications. Now, we don't know exactly who's going to have the worst of it, but it does seem to have long-term implications. And so erring on the side of safety, I don't see a problem with that.
And I don't have a problem bringing my son back here if there was ever any doubt.
And I have to give my son extra credit for trying to take that test with 3 adults and a cameraman over his shoulder. He did give us, though, a pretty good indication where he is before the season.
Which is such good peace of mind. But, of course, my first thought is this has got to cost a bundle.
It doesn't. It doesn't at all. Up to $15.
15?
$15.
Out of pocket for a parent?
Out of pocket, $15.
Absolutely worth it. But where do you go to get tested?
Well, you know, there's a lot of school districts. The Boise School District has mandated it, you know, with their coaches to get the kids tested. A lot of school districts haven't. But what I would suggest is talk to your coaches, which I'm sure they're already well at your school, and your principal. But you can always contact those nice folks at St. Luke's Sports Medicine because they will come out to the schools, you know, and arrange a time where the kids can get on the computer. And Matt would love if he could arrange it with his schedule to come out and talk about his experience.
Oh, and having a Bronco do that in front of those guys, it's going to make an impact.
Yeah, and he had quite a career at Boise State. He was going places, and that shut him down.